Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something crucial: focusing on yourself instead of others. Too many people waste time comparing, complaining, and resenting, but that gets you nowhere. The only real competition is with who you were yesterday. You spend too much time worrying about what others are doing, about how they're succeeding, about how they're ahead of you, and that's a mistake. It's a colossal waste of time. You sit there scrolling through social media, comparing your life to the lives of people who only show you what they want you to see. You measure yourself against a carefully curated illusion, and then you feel miserable. You tell yourself you're falling behind. You tell yourself you're not good enough. You let resentment creep in, and none of that helps you move forward. None of that makes you stronger. Your primary responsibility is to sort yourself out, to make yourself better than you were yesterday. That's what matters. The world is filled with people who spend all their energy focusing outward, blaming others for their failures, looking for reasons why they haven't succeeded. But that's not the path. That's a distraction. If you're constantly watching others, you're neglecting yourself, and that's a guaranteed way to stagnate, to remain stuck exactly where you are. You need a goal, a real goal. Not a vague desire to be successful or make more money. Those aren't goals. Those are wishes. A goal is something concrete, something specific, something you can measure. If you don't have a goal, what are you aiming at? How do you know if you're making progress? You don't. And without progress, you'll fall into despair. People who don't move forward start to crumble. It's inevitable. And here's where people get it wrong. They think they need to be better than someone else. They think they need to surpass their neighbor, their friend, their coworker. That's not the right comparison. The only comparison that matters is to who you were yesterday. Were you better today than you were yesterday? If yes, that's success. If not, then you've got work to do. But people don't like that answer. They want shortcuts. They want easy victories. They want to feel superior without actually doing the hard work. That's why so many people spend their time gossiping, tearing others down, pointing out flaws in others instead of fixing their own. Because it's easier. It's easier to criticize someone else than it is to fix your own flaws. But what happens when you do that? You stay weak. You stay small. You stay fragile. And life doesn't go well for people like that. You have to take responsibility. And that means no more excuses. No more blaming society. No more blaming your parents. No more blaming your boss. No more blaming your past. It doesn't matter what's happened to you. It doesn't matter where you started. The only thing that matters is what you do now. What action do you take? What steps do you put in place to improve? And improvement is difficult. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to face parts of yourself that you don't want to face. It requires you to acknowledge your weaknesses, your laziness, your cowardice, and that's painful. That's why so many people avoid it. But avoidance doesn't work. You can't hide from reality. Reality will come for you whether you like it or not. The only way to escape suffering is to voluntarily confront it. If you willingly take on responsibility, if you willingly push yourself to improve, you'll suffer in the short term, but in the long term, you'll grow, you'll become stronger, and that strength will carry you through life. But if you avoid responsibility, if you focus on others instead of yourself, life will punish you. It will make you weaker, more resentful, more bitter. And you don't want that. You don't want to become the kind of person who resents others for their success. That's a poison. It eats away at you. It destroys your potential. The world isn't fair. Some people start with advantages. Some people are born into wealth. Some people are naturally more talented. So what? What does that have to do with you? What does that change about your responsibility to improve? Nothing. Complaining about unfairness doesn't make you better. It doesn't push you forward. It just makes you weaker. You need discipline, and discipline isn't about feeling motivated. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline is about acting in accordance with your goals regardless of how you feel. If you only work hard when you feel like it, you'll never achieve anything significant. You'll be like everyone else, stuck in mediocrity, making excuses, blaming external circumstances for your lack of progress. Your focus should be on building competence. Become skilled, become knowledgeable. Become someone people respect not because you demand respect, but because you've earned it. That takes time. It takes effort. It takes consistency. And it requires you to stop wasting time on distractions. Social media is a major distraction. Most people don't use it properly. They use it to compare, to judge, to feel superior or inferior. That's a waste. If you're spending hours consuming other people's lives instead of improving your own, you're doing it wrong. Limit your exposure. Use it as a tool, not as an escape. If something makes you weaker, cut it out. And be careful who you surround yourself with. If your friends are constantly complaining, constantly blaming, constantly distracted, that will influence you. You'll adopt their mindset. You'll start thinking the way they think, and that's dangerous. You need people around you who push you, who challenge you, who hold you accountable. People who encourage you to grow, not people who drag you down. And don't mistake comfort for happiness. Many people avoid challenges because they want to be comfortable. But comfort doesn't bring fulfillment. Growth does. Achievement does. Facing difficulty and overcoming it does. The most satisfied people are the ones who have earned their place in the world through effort, through competence, through struggle. You don't need to be perfect. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Make today slightly better than yesterday. Make this week better than last week. Over time, that compounds. It builds. Small, consistent improvement leads to massive transformation. But it all starts with responsibility. It starts with the decision to focus on yourself, to improve yourself, to stop wasting time worrying about others. And that's a decision only you can make. You underestimate how much time you waste thinking about other people. How often do you catch yourself wondering why someone else has what you don't? How often do you compare yourself to a colleague, a friend, a stranger on the internet, and feel like you're falling behind? Every second you spend thinking that way is a second lost to resentment, to envy, to self-pity. And none of those emotions serve you. None of them make you better. When you focus on yourself, you take back control. You shift your energy towards something productive. Instead of worrying about what someone else has, you ask yourself, what can I do today to improve? That's a much better question. That's a question that leads somewhere. That's a question that forces you to take action instead of wallowing in negative emotions. And action is what changes your life. Not wishing. Not waiting for someone to notice you. Not hoping that circumstances will improve on their own. If you want to get anywhere, you have to move. You have to take responsibility. You have to push yourself. And you can't do that if your mind is consumed with external distractions. People waste an incredible amount of time on things that don't matter. Gossip, pointless arguments, mindless entertainment. These things feel good in the moment, but they add nothing to your life. Imagine if you took all that wasted time and used it to build something, to learn a new skill, to get stronger, to develop discipline, to create something valuable. Imagine how different your life would be a year from now if you did that. But most people won't. Most people will continue wasting time, blaming others, making excuses, because that's easier, that's comfortable, that doesn't require change. But you have to ask yourself, do you want comfort, or do you want progress? Because you can't have both. Real growth comes with discomfort. It comes with sacrifice. It comes with effort. And that effort has to be directed inward, not outward. If you spend your days worried about other people's opinions, you're living for them, not for yourself. And that's a trap. That's a surefire way to become miserable. You'll never satisfy everyone. You'll never be universally liked. No matter what you do, someone will criticize you. Someone will look down on you. Someone will think you're not good enough. So why let that control you? Why let that dictate your actions? The only opinion that truly matters is the one you have of yourself. Are you proud of what you're doing? Are you making progress? Are you becoming stronger, smarter, more competent? That's the standard you should measure yourself against. Everything else is noise. People who succeed don't have time to worry about what others think. They're too busy working, too busy improving, too busy building themselves up. And that's the mindset you need to cultivate. If you want to get anywhere, you have to develop tunnel vision. Cut out the distractions. Cut out the comparisons. Focus entirely on your own path. And that path is unique to you. No one else has your exact circumstances, your exact challenges, your exact strengths and weaknesses. So why compare? Why assume that someone else's success means anything about your potential? That's an illusion. The only thing that matters is your own progress. And progress takes patience. It's not immediate. It's not something you achieve overnight. People look at successful individuals and only see the end result. They don't see the years of effort, the setbacks, the failures, and because of that, they assume success comes easy to some people. That's false. No one achieves anything meaningful without struggle. The question is whether you're willing to go through that struggle. And the struggle is personal. It's internal. It's you versus you. That's the battle that matters. Not you versus some stranger on social media. Not you versus your coworker. Not you versus your old classmate who seems to be doing better than you. Just you. Are you improving? Are you disciplined? Are you better than you were before? That's the only standard that leads to real fulfillment. But you have to be honest with yourself. People lie to themselves all the time. They make excuses. They justify their bad habits. They tell themselves they're doing their best when they know they're not. That's a dangerous game. The truth is harsh, but it's necessary. If you're weak, admit it. If you're lazy, admit it. If you've been wasting time, admit it. Because once you face reality, you can change it. If you lie to yourself, you stay stuck. And staying stuck leads to bitterness. You don't want to become bitter. Bitter people are the ones who spend their lives blaming others, complaining, tearing others down. They don't grow. They don't succeed. They just sit in their misery, resenting everyone who worked harder than they did. That's no way to live. Instead, take full ownership of your life. Stop wasting time on distractions. Stop focusing on others. Make yourself stronger. Make yourself disciplined. Improve every single day. That's the only way forward. So, in the end, it all comes down to this: focus on yourself, not on others. Stop comparing, stop making excuses, and take full responsibility for your growth. Every day, aim to be better than you were yesterday. That's the only path to real progress. Thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.